So, hello everyone. Hopefully you are online. Let me check. I am still very sick, so sorry for all of the delays. We'll be doing this from home. Hopefully will not cough a lot. I actually enabled this noise reduction meta system. Hope that this will work and you will not hear a lot of coughing. Let me see. Go live. So let me know if you can hear me and see me well. And by the way, just a reminder, the exam, right, and the details of the exam. Okay, I see somebody. So details of the exam is in the Moodle. There is the voting for the dates, and you those dates where will be the most votes. There we will do the exam. And I hope this cough will not be too bad. Okay, yeah, thanks for pluses. I see that there are people online right now. Okay. Yeah, so let's keep digging into this. Oh, I just realized that this is not logged in. How can I do this? Let me think. So just a second, I will switch to this one. Just for the notes, for being able to add the notes, I need to be able to edit the whiteboard. And for some reason, the link which I opened was not editable. Okay, now this one will be editable. Okay, now this is better. I think the noise reduction is not made for such a bad cough that I have right now. So anyways, we cannot delay because we have left maybe few other lectures and now we need to move forward. So today I think is quite exciting lecture because you could get to play around with a lot of image tools, right? And probably many of you have already tried these kind of tools. I gave in references some of the tools that you can play and test yourself. So definitely can do that. The but let's start step by step, and then we will go with some practical examples more, and maybe we will not make it too long today because of all of my sickness, but we'll try to get it somewhere. So let me add some information here. Okay, cool. So, right. So and we will go through some of these tasks together. So you will see how to use these in the other business settings, not only in generative settings, right? Because the image tasks are being used in many other places. So the first one is the image classification. So you can do the image classification the same way as we did previously with the tabular based classification, and there are some state-of-the-art models that people use usually, and there's also ways how we can play around with these tools even without the knowledge how to do this. One is of course using the AI Studio, which I showed you before. There is also functions to classify images, but then also these can be done in some other ways I will show you. So then image segmentation, then re-identification, inpainting, image to text, style conversion, super resolution. These all of the later ones are more in the way of generative models. And the first one is more established, and the first two are the most established business use cases actually. So let me share some of the examples. So let me see if so this is this. We'll try to show you more examples on the image segment, image classification and segmentation mostly. So and then we will go to generative tasks. So the image classification, and we could actually add here also, no, maybe later. So the re-identification and the anomaly detection is more similar than classification. So what actually these models do? So in these models, you have image as an input, right? And the classification output, basically. So and the state-of-the-art models for these models are have been trained primarily on ImageNet. ImageNet is this all couple of million data samples with with thousand classes. Basically, the large image dataset. And nowadays, they even have 20,000 classes also available. So let me show you more some visualizations. Sorry for my coughing. This is very bad for now. So and these image tasks are based on something that is called convolutional models. So they look something like this. Whoa, the electricity is well, there's a lot of things happening in my home. So anyway, so these are these models where you have basically small patches of inputs, and the neural networks look at these small patches and at the end produce the classification output, right? So there are some interesting aspects of this which we should know. So for and you will that will be useful for you in the future as well. So the day one is that the output is you get the probabilities, right? And if you remember a little bit about classification tasks before. So if you have classification, then multi-class, then you use this categorical cross entropy, or if there is just two classes, then you have just one probability coming out, and then this binary cross entropy. But this is not really just straightforward. Forward model. It's not just like adding these hidden layers like we tried in H2O. These layers are actually being able to extract features in similar way as human retina does actually. So this was mathematically coincidental. It was not made in that way that for sure this is the only way how this works, but it actually turned out that when these models were created, then the first layers of the convolutional neural networks understood the edges, like corners and all of these things. And the deeper you get the fuller picture. Like you get the wheels of the car, and then you get the parts of the car, and at the end you get actually the full understanding of the model. So basically, there's more examples visually I can show you. Uh, and this all happens totally mathematically. Nobody programs this in this way. These models are able to learn it in this way that initially you detect these optimetry type of Gabor patches, then you get the parts of the face, and finally you get the full face, right? And this is all learned like basically using these convolutional neural networks or visual transformers or other architectures by the model itself. So the one important thing, if you look at these images here, that you should pay attention that there is these small boxes coming, right? So if you look here, actually I want to show you one more example how these boxes work, and then you will understand why this is important and why this information might be useful for you in the future. So there is one Stanford animation which I want to show you. Sorry, hopefully my denoiser works and you will not hear a lot of coughing. Let's see if the denoiser doesn't work, then I'm sorry for that. Let me see. So there's the Stanford material. I want to find it. For some reason, it's a little bit tricky to find it for me now. It's usually easy to find. Just a second. Oh, I found it. Yes, yes. I found it. So this is the Stanford computer course, right? Computer, yeah, computer science course, and they have one animation which demonstrates how this mathematics works. So this is the way. So any image classification object or like models still nowadays work in this way, basically. So this is something to keep in mind that no matter how like advanced the model is, it is taking these small patches because if you want to take the whole image in and process it, it still takes quite significant uh, resources. Even the generative models usually work in similar manner, either by patches or by adding small pieces of the image, not generating the whole image at once. So, and why this matters? This matters because so basically, the any image classification tasks have some significant limitations, and these limitations are these. So that you have the because of the patches going like as you saw, right, like this, like moving around. And by the way, all of this is executed on the GPU hardware immediately on parallel. There's never like for loop where slowly something happens. All of this is executed in parallel. All of these patches are executed in parallel. So, and the because this is the way how the patches are created, so then you should understand a couple of things. So one, all of the image classifiers, like almost all of them, have by default in translation invariants. So if this statue is located here, here, or here in the image will be classified correctly that this is the statue. But if I will do the rotations, maybe that's something we could actually experiment together in a moment. So the rotations will not work. Basically, any that kind of rotation, this kind of even the size does not work. So if I make something much smaller or much larger, the same object, the model does not recognize it anymore, and also the colors doesn't work. So there are ways how to make sure that model learns these features. So and one of the most common ways how to do this is using the augmentations. Let me type that term for you. Mm, oh, something floated. Okay. I think this tool is better than the previous one, but it's also not perfect. So how to to solve this? This use augmentations during training. But even when I will show you this, keep in mind keep in mind that any model, like if you used in a commercial setting to classify if the product is correctly placed or not correctly placed, or if the product has defects or no defects, right? Then keep in mind that these models do not work nicely when you start changing the colors and environments and so on. So let me find some example. So there was a Torch Vision augmentations. Actually, I have some. So here is one example of augmentations. So during the training of the model, basically you can rotate, blur, take contrasts, scaling, illumination, like make it smaller, larger, right? Change the projectives and so on. So, and every time when you train sample, you just artificially introduce something like that. And basically, in that way, you can stabilize the image classification, but it's still never perfect. So, the one learning you should take for all of the image classification tasks that you would like to use in some factory setting, in some, I don't know, like document classification or anywhere else is that that no model works great if you feed data which is not trained upon. So like if you for example have pictures in a clear blue sky and then you feed pictures in dark evening, then nothing will work basically, so or work very poorly. So if you have questions so far, please write in the chat. So, and how you can play around with this is using, for example, this tool. So there is a tool called Media Pipe Studio, and this is semi-professional tool actually. So this is something where you can not only play with this tool, but also build your own models, which then later can be deployed in a professional setting actually. So I encourage you to open the media pipe. Let me find where it was my slides. So and we can play around with a couple of these first tasks. So the classification, for example. So image classification on the left side. So yeah, it has my face, and it's yeah, it's not perfect at all, as you see. And it has been trained on that ImageNet, which I showed you, 1,000 classes. And in those 1,000 classes, there is no actually classes like I believe there is no class human, person, and so on. So I will change it to upload my own image. Oh, right. Let me try again. So I will take one of my examples, which I prepared from the uh, original ImageNet. There in the ImageNet, there's like objects like vehicles, dogs, cats, and so on. And I think that so actually let me show you more. So this was the convolutional stuff. So there's a different versions of ImageNet. So this is from 2012, but nowadays it's a bit larger. So here you can see there, if you scroll down, this is a little bit more like a programming code, but you can still get examples from this. And yeah, so let's see. There's a dog here. Let's take this dog. Let's use the media pipe here. Okay, where is my dog? Okay, no, this doesn't look at all like my dog. It's fine. Okay, it should be there. Yeah, let me drop in dog. So this will be the dog. Hello. Okay, cool. Oh, this model is, I believe, trained on something a little bit better than the original 1,000 class ImageNet. I believe this is 20,000 class ImageNet because it detects not only that this is a dog, but even the species of the dog. And so you can also change the threshold. Oh, right, I can change the models. So let me try some other model. Okay, this one. And you can run these models on different hardware, right? The GPU is the one which is the mainly used. You can play around with this tool basically. So here you have ready-made image classification with, I believe, with 20,000 classes. If you want more classes, like I don't want to detect just dogs, but I want to detect, for example, some kind of like bugs in the agriculture setting, right? Then what you do, you prepare your own data set with lots of image samples. Like what I mean, lots of it's normally like 10,000 images at least. And then you fine tune this model, and you can actually do this using the media pipe as well, or you can use like some professional tools basically. So this is the image classification part. So all image, I feed all image in, I get the class label out, right? And these labels are predefined. These are not generative labels. This is not like the labels will appear from itself. These labels have been previously prepared dataset, right? Again, just to clarify, so the what I mean by previously, oh, prepared dataset. It's interesting that something is lagging here. Okay, good. Got it here. So what I mean is if we go back here, so see the ImageNet dataset, maybe I can add the reference, but hopefully it's not that important. It's just that this is the state of the art and basically the basis for all of these models. The ImageNet dataset, which have predefined models like watercraft, sailboats, husky, dog, and so on. And depending on the version, you might have 1,000 classes, 20,000 classes, and so on. If you want your model to predict classes that you want to predict, you need to prepare your own dataset and fine-tune it. And you can do it either in MediaPipe or using some professional tools like PyTorch and so on. So this is the image classification part. Highly recommend you to play around with MediaPipe, right? So this is done. Okay, let's add it here that this is done, right? Okay, so let's then the image segmentation. So the image segmentation also super important topic, and the state-of-the-art model basically that everyone is using is YOLO, and YOLO is trained on Coco dataset basically. So let me add these things and I will explain it. Oh, it's a little bit painful. Subheading. Okay. By the way, I'm doing this lecture from home, so sorry if my denoiser fails and you hear some background noises. I'm not sure if you can hear. It should not be too bad. I'm using one of these advanced denoising models. So anyway, so this is the image segmentation, and image segmentation have couple of different ways how you can do it. And this is also something you should know in order to ask for your business the right thing that you need. So you have classification, which we already covered, right? So the classification we understand. Single object, right? Single whole image. We have some problems with classification images, right? Like when we change the sizes. Actually, I don't have too much time here, but if you try to like make this dog much smaller, right? Or rotate it quite around, it will not recognize it as this dog anymore. So you can try it yourself. So then the localization, so then there is the object detection basically. And then there is instance segmentation. There's actually more than that. Let me try to find some better picture. Did not realize that this was such a small. I have a little bit better picture. So. Mm, let me find. Okay, I like this one better actually. So for segmentation, this one this one would be better. Copy image. Yep. So this one will be much better. The previous one is not that precise. So you have image recognition or classification, you have object detection, you have semantic segmentation, instance segmentation. These are the actual real terms of what you want to build, and depending on what you want to build, you need to decide on these models. And just for you to know, the accuracy of these things goes in this order. Basically, not in AI, never something is 100%, and the more you kind of change things, like if you want something more precise, that then the accuracy actually goes down. So here, this is the best accuracy. If you want anything regarding the images, you would get the best accuracy just by having the whole image classification. You just need a lot of data, right? So then this will be the second best. So this will be the second best. second best accuracy would be when you do the semantic segmentation like that, and you don't have separate boxes for each of the objects. And this is actually done by, if anyone interested, then by UNets and deep lab models, and basically it's called semantic segmentation. Okay. So and then the third best accuracy is this, the just the boxes, third best accuracy, third best, and this is YOLO based. Maybe if I started adding things here, I could just keep adding. So here, the best accuracy for this one be, as far as I know, Vision Transformers or Efficient Net. These are the names of the models, right, that you could use to achieve this result. So, and YOLO would give you this one, and then finally the worst accuracy, but also the nicest result, right, is when you have the masks together with the objects, and this is like a mask RCNN, and some variants actually of YOLO also support this. But yeah, so depending on what you need, you get different levels of accuracy. So if you would just use this instant segmentation for everything, you would get not good results because it is not great in many tasks. But in other tasks, like you even don't need it. So just to understand how this works a little bit more is that you feed in the image, and basically the you get out, if you understand that the image is actually three channels, RGB, red, green, blue, but you can get out as many channels as you want. It uses the same logic basically as the so as they remember when we changed the dimensions, like shadows, like, right, like the higher dimension shadows. So I can even use these three-dimensional channels, or yeah, RGB image, and get out as many classes as I want. So, well, okay, this is not cool that it just disappeared like that. Yeah, let's try again. Okay, cool. So, and there's a different specific architectures how you make it, but this is in the nutshell, the process. And it can work with also the depth images, right? It can have so just let me see. Yeah, so it can have the not only three channels, it can have four channels. It can work with infrared, just the grayscale channel. So there's many ways how to do this. Okay. Um, Yeah, by the way, there is a one thing. Okay, we can do that a little bit later. So, but then if you go to media pipe, oh, I forgot to mention about dataset. So the dataset, everything in AI revolves around dataset. So if you don't have the right dataset, you will not never get what you want, basically. So the dataset means everything in these models. So, and here in this case, the dataset is Coco in most of these solutions. So, and this looks something like this. So, not all solutions, of course, you can make other datasets as well. Just a second. So, but in most solutions, this is Coco dataset, and it contains these masks of images, right, of the objects in images. Like for example, here's aeroplane, person, bike, motorcycle, and all sorts of these labels, and that's what you expect from these models. And if you go back to MediaPipe and switch to object detection, for example, and here you see actually you have multiple parts, like also image segmentation, so object detection. And you see it detected the dog, the TV, the bed here. It's really interesting actually. And it's based on efficient net, by the way, if you see mobile net as well available. But basically these usually are backbones for YOLO actually. And if I switch to the camera view, you definitely play around with these things. And now it actually sees that this is a person. See, so this is cool. It also understands that there is a my so this is a cell phone, not this is not cell phone, this is watch, right? Or the remote. So it detects a lot of things that are actually usable. So, and these are all models for free, basically. You can use them open source, and if you have a little bit of knowledge or you set it up, you can use for different solutions, right? So then image segmentation, let's try out this one. So yeah, so see it segmented out this part, it is segmented out like the central object as a selfie because probably this dataset, see it's a selfie segmenter. If you choose some other type of segmentation, it should be able to segment some other ways. Yeah, so see here it's dog. See, very nice actually example. Choose the image segmentation, choose the DeepLab model. DeepLab model is one of those models. So we go back here. I gave you the reference to UNet, but the DeepLab is just alternative of that. And you can get them open source or like fine tune for your own business use case. Okay. So here, very nice. You can play around with this and can get also confidence masks, right? So you can select which one you want. There is a lot of yeah. So that's that. Then what else? Interactive segmentation. That's also interesting, actually, I believe. So yeah. So there is a new thing happening. So this is also very useful. This is called segment anything type of models, and these are zero-shot models which do not require training, but they have limitations that you need to like human guidance basically. So they are called SAM, segment anything. Okay, so I will show you some examples what you can do with this. And this is something for you to keep in mind, specifically for when you make data sets for these models, for these image segmentation models, because typically it takes lots of time. Imagine to make the mask around this sheep or the dog. So how much time it will take you? Like it will take you like 10 minutes or so, right? Or and when you have thousands, 10,000 images, it takes so much time, right? But nowadays you have something like this happening. So where I can just drop in point and see it immediately segmented the whole dog without anything of my part, right? You can drop somewhere else, it segments everything. And this is not just like paint infilling or something like that. It's not like that at all. So let me give you some more examples. So segment. I had the original paper somewhere. Sorry for my coughing. Had it somewhere. Had it somewhere. Let me find it. Because there was a kind of nice demo. Was a kind of nice demo of segmentation. Oh, by the way, just for you to understand the accuracies, right? So the image classification tasks. Let me step back one. I should have done this previously, but forgot about it. We'll return to the segment anything. So if we go back to these image classification tasks, right? Here, let me add some slide in between. Then the accuracy which you want to get is basically uh, nowadays and historically it goes something like that, so that you get all above or close to 90% accuracy on top one. And by the way, this is tricky stuff because you see this is top one, and often these data sets and maybe some of your partners that you will work together on AI projects might give you some weird metrics. You definitely always need to understand the way how you measure the quality of your model, because what you can also get is, for example, the accuracy top 10, for example. So it means that the class that I wanted to get is in the top 10 of the predicted classes, and this will be much higher accuracy than top one, just the one class like here, the one class, the first class which is predicted. So the top one is hard, but you see that since 2012 till when we started the 50% accuracy, now 2024 we have accuracy above 90%. So in real life scenarios, when you actually have the proper uh, these data sets, like with business cases, you can expect 99.9% accuracy because this is toy data set, and that's why it's not actually that perfect. So for these segmentation tasks, they also have similar accuracy metric. This is called mean average precision, and mean average precision actually is really kind of tricky metric, and which I do not recommend uh, very much. But let me explain it a little bit. So when you see somebody telling that something is very accurate, you would know that it's actually not. So mean average precision. Yes, hopefully I wrote it right. Let me see. All right. So let me add a little bit of context to this, and then let's return to that segment anything, and then we will go to more towards generative models. Okay. Sorry, I might copy. So So the mean average precision, let me show you that strange stuff. So I want to find some good example for you. So first of all, it is calculating something that we already looked at before with classification models, okay? So, but it's calculating the average precision of all of the classes, but that's not it. There is one trick that I want to specifically show you, because this is important anytime when in future you will come around with image segmentation tasks. So the vanilla average precision, just an average precision that is often reported, goes something like that. It collects basically the accuracy at different levels of precision. Basically, this is not good. Let me find some other. So you can imagine, like, so it will be clear here. So imagine if I have a threshold, right, of so here would be threshold of 50%. So I would say, right, why my drawing tool is not working? Okay, I want this tool. Okay, cool. So if I say that, I will say that this is a dog only if it reaches 50%, right? So this might be reasonable. I would accept that, right? And I would calculate accuracy from that. But what mean average precision do? Mean average precision actually do this. They split this whole range by 10%, for example, calculate if the accuracy is okay here, is okay here, is okay here, right, and so on, and then calculates the average of all of that. You can imagine how bad it is, right? So if you use the average precision over the whole range, you will definitely get very misleading results, basically. So this is definitely not something, and this is like one of those things where researchers try to fool people, like, the same way as I showed you last time about n-shot prompts, right, where they say that GPT can beat all sorts of tests by 90%, but you need to give 10 examples of that test, right? So this is similar way. So here the average precision would be like everything in the range of from 0 till 90%, for example, or let's say not 0, but 10% till 90% range of all of the values, and then average of that. You imagine how bad it is, right? So, but what is better? Better would be if, and it's also sometimes used actually. So you just say average precision of 50, for example. It's actually called like AP50. So, and then it means that I will calculate only the accuracies which are above 50%, right? And I just want to give you this highlight so you understand that in future when you work with AI scientists, it's super easy for AI scientists to give you the metrics and tell you that everything is perfect, and then in real life nothing works because there are all of these metrics that you need to understand how these metrics work before you accept your final solution, basically. So that's that. So let's return to segment anything. I wanted to give you the example of this. I know that Meta was the one who did this. So they have a demo, and this is something that you probably have seen already in I think Android phones, and now iOS phones also have it. So this is the so if you look for segment dash anything.com, you will get this demo, and this is open source model, by the way. Again, this is not something that belongs to Android or iPhone or like Apple or like Google or something that allows to do these things, but you can upload your own image or you can use any of the existing images. And basically what you can do is you can, like, just by hovering of it, like, get semantic segmentation. So this is totally not the paint flow, like filling, right? Like Photoshop filling. This is totally not like that. This is able to understand the context, and you can click actually the plus area and minus area, so I can remove parts as well. Like, I'm not sure, do I want to remove something here? Maybe this you see, just that necklace. I can remove the necklace. So there's a really nice ways how you can operate this, and why this is super important, because you can basically reduce your labeling costs by 10, basically. So if you have a labeling tool which supports these kind of segment anything models, then you can produce for your business the data set much faster. And so you just by a few clicks looking at every picture and just go on, right? So this is something to keep in mind. So let's keep moving. So you don't have too much time as well. So this is that. Okay, cool. So then ray identification, right? Ray identification. We already talked a little bit about it. Let me show you this a little bit more. So this is like Apple Face ID uh, regarding the images, right? It can be also product identification. It's sometimes used in I have seen projects where, for example, for the Amazon web store, right? You want to track similar products like your product, right? You can do actually that. You um, just need to have the proper data set, right, and proper model, and then you can use it. So let me show you how, and this is actually, let me add here with the identification. It's very similar also to anomaly detection. Let me go step by step and show you these things, and then we will move to generative models more. Because what I'm showing you now, all of these models up till now, these are uh, like very fundamental for everything you do in the basically in the like a computer vision tasks. So these are very well established. Later we will look at generative tasks, which are quite kind of like unstable in many cases. But what I'm telling you up to this now, this is very stable, very powerful. So for example, we have these anomaly detection things where we can, for example, train the models, and these are, let me add some references for you if somebody wants to look up later. So these models are uh, basically variational autoencoders, right? Autoencoders, and yeah, and so in these cases you have the same image as an input, same image as an output, and in the middle part you have these embeddings, remember? So, and these embeddings are really powerful. Actually, you can do a lot of with these embeddings. You can have this embedding space where similar things come together and other and unusual things come apart, basically. So let me show more examples of that. So especially for the anomaly detection. So these embeddings usually are high dimensional, like they are, well, let's say 256 dimensions. But as you remember, we already know how to reduce dimensions. We showed examples how to use these tools to make sure that these dimensions are, well, let's say two-dimensional. So in here, there is an example. We have it can be image actually, right? But it can be also something else. It can be, for example, the sensor readings of temperature, for example. And then the encoder produces these embeddings, and the greens are the normal operation of the machine. And then if the machine starts to work not normally, then these embeddings are just placed in some different cluster where you immediately see that this is not okay. And the same procedure works for images, of course. Like here's the examples of the chest X-rays. And here the idea is this, that you can either have the embeddings or these vectors in this look like visualization, like here, like in two dimensions and in the Euclidean space. Or if you have high dimensional embeddings, you can use the cosine distance or angle, basically, between each arrow is produced in this middle part of the z vectors, which is high dimensional. And then you see that anomalies are arrows pointing with the angle very far away from the original dataset. And what is cool about this is that you don't need any labels, basically. You don't need labeled datasets. You can, like, for example, previously with this Coco dataset, it was super expensive to label all of this. And of course, you can make it cheaper with this segment anything. But for anomaly detection, you don't need any labels. You just need to be sure that for this period or these images are the normal images, and then anything else which is not normal will be anomaly. Okay, so that's the way how these anomaly detections work. Then the ray identifications and face identifications. That's something also very interesting. We already talked about it a little bit previously. Just let me find, because I think it was when I talked about clusterization and things of that nature. Yeah, so we had this idea. So it's basically this very similar way as before. Like if you look back here, we have this middle part, or this middle part, or this middle part, or here this middle part. There is no generative part, but it could be also a generative part here. And the idea here is that if we would plot this as a cluster, right, we will get something like this. And if we zoom in, we will get the exact faces, right? Each point will be in this three-dimensional space, two-dimensional new face. And what's cool about this, maybe I should just add these interesting things which you should keep in mind. For anomaly detection, you don't need labeled dataset. Anomaly detection, uh, do not need labeled dataset, except if you want that. Sometimes you actually want that to make it more precise when you want to test and so on. And here, for this is very cool. You don't need so these methods, which are called actually zero shot deep metric learning. You don't need don't need need production faces basically. So uh, classes, right? So the idea is that this model has never seen my face, but it is able to cluster my face together in the real space. So, and it is being trained on hundreds of thousands of other faces, but then it recognizes my face even if it sees it first time. So this is really also a very cool method. So to keep in mind that something like that exists, can be used in many applications. I don't think it's in the media pipe. Let's see. Oh, actually, we have image embedding here. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, yeah, it is actually here. So definitely you can test it out yourself. So cosine similarity says 100%. So it says that these two images are the same object. You could actually try it with your face as well. Just make sure that the face is cut out properly. So if you have a lot of details in the background, it will not work. But let me show example actually. If this image embedding feature is available in the media pipe, then it's worth for you to show something more fun here. So let me try to find. So the first one is dog. So let me find a photo of cat. Okay. Photo of cat. Normally when you want to do these kind of things, you definitely want to make sure that all of your images are the same size, same lighting conditions, and so on, right? Let me try to pick the cat. Where is the cat? Okay, cat goes in. And now the cosine similarity is 0.03. So it is not the same object. Basically, 1 means it is the same object. Actually, normally -1 means that this is definitely not the same object, but 0 also means that this is not the same object. So let me try another dog. So let's see if the model understands that dogs are similar. And you can imagine that in this way you can work with images that has never seen the model, right? It just need to be the same domain, because if I start to give images about something completely different like cars, right, then it will not work anymore. But like I mean, not maybe cars are the same, but something more extreme, like I don't know, like the cells in a laboratory, right? Like biology laboratory. If I will start giving the cells comparison, then it will not work as well, but actually it will work, but it will not just work as well as the target domain. So let's see this one. So can I make a recalculation of this set? Okay, so it seems that it didn't work that well. If this is the same embedding, I'm not sure if it's the same. Let's see. Let's try to change back to the cat. Okay, this is 3. Okay, actually cat is closer than this one. So that's what I'm saying, that this particular model probably is not great for classifying dogs. Maybe we can try something else. So there is another large model, 0.06, 2 dogs, and then if I try to cat, 0.5. So the cat has a similar this fur, right? The texture. And remember when I told you that these image models work with these small patches? So that's why most likely they seem more similar to the model. But if you prepare the proper cutout examples, you will really see the difference. And this is how it works basically. Okay, okay, it's already crashing a little bit. So yeah, so let's go back to what else. So these are right. So then the in painting, let me see, do I have some better example? So now we are starting to move in the area of generative models. Generative models are very cool and very popular nowadays, right? But the thing is that they are not always very stable. If you have any questions so far, please don't hesitate to write, right? I will look if I have some in painting example. Right, I think I have some. So the in painting actually usually works originally. Actually, it worked without any generative aspects of like the text. So the text type of models came after this part. So this image captioning. And image captioning, the champion of image captioning is Clip model. Clip is one of the best models for describing what is in the image, right? But image inpainting was originally meant to be actually just the logical filling of the gaps, like the semantic filling of the gaps when I cover some part of the image. Okay, so so this actually is not what I want. Let me try. Okay, that's this one, but I will show you some commercial generative tools where you can play around with it as well. So this is, I don't want to generate image. Nowadays they are so intertwined, right? So nowadays basically the generative part is very close to the filling part. So in paint, right? Where do I have the mask? So let's add some mask. Can I do? Yeah, right. So this will be the mask. So, oh, sorry. For some reason it switched back to something else. So okay, I just want to maybe turn back. Let's just inpaint the eyes of the cat, right? So just a second. So I'm at home, maybe some kids will appear. So okay, let's see if I can generate without describing. So normally I don't even need to describe what I need to generate. It should be oh, so this is what it did. So this is the original input. This is the output, right? See, like I did not describe a single thing, right? But it was filling the gaps by the most probable way, right? What will be the most likely filling? And these kind of models are super great to use when you have some defects in photographies, right? And you want to fill them. I will give you actually this reference to the notes of the video, and also maybe this is a good moment to check the chat. I will give you in the chat. Hopefully my stream is not yet crashed. And so it takes so breaking. It's a little bit sick, so sorry about that. Trying not to cough in microphone and hopefully the model also works with the denoising. Okay, the denoising model actually stopped working now. Let me see if I can restore it. Just a second. So I dropped in the chat also that example for you to play around. Maybe I will put this as the image back in the show notes, and then just bear with me. I need a few minutes to set up back my denoising. So just a second. So this is the inpainting there, okay? Without any text. Just a second. Sorry for my coughing. I'll fix my microphone. Just a second. So I fixed my microphone. Hopefully you will not hear a lot of background sounds. I'm using actually myself AI denoising tool. When we will talk about audio, maybe next time, if you have time left for this lectures to continue, then I will explain about that as well. So this is image, image in uh, painting or in filling. Okay, cool. Yeah. And by the way, if you didn't know what I showed you before, this Hugging Face, this is the open source model repository. There's a lot of open source models you can try around, try yourself, and these can be used in commercial settings as well for your own products. Okay, so that's it. So let's keep moving on. So then the next step is the image captioning tools. Um, so these were actually the first ones to open the Pandora box, so to say, on generative models, because without image captioning, you would not be able to actually produce the models because there would not be link between language models. So image captioning, and for image captioning, the main culprit, the best model out there, and actually I can give you more. There's also Blip and so on, and then right now actually the really cool is what is the it was called clip to LLM or something like image to LLM. Maybe I will fix it if it's wrong, or clip to LLM by Microsoft, which is the latest one, which works a little bit different way, but it's really powerful. So let me explain about that, and maybe I can give you also examples how the image captioning works. So need to find the visual. So the image captioning models actually have these two encoders. We talked already about the image encoders now for the classification, right? This is similar like classification part. And then the text encoders, which we talked previously about language modeling. And then they have a special contrastive loss where they try to align so that image encoder creates those same tokens as the text encoder would use here. And in that way, you basically make sure that the model is able to describe the image basically. And this is one of the mechanisms how these nowadays they also have the multimodal language models, right? Where you can interact with images. And recently, I highly recommend you to check out there is this Gemini screen sharing model which just came out few days ago. Maybe I can give you the reference. And this works as a multimodal language model, but still, it's the idea is that let me give you the reference that you can actually. There's a couple of things I will show you. Just a second. So Gemini screen recording tool. They recently, just a few days, released that one. Mm, it was think it's included in Gemini Pro. If Sunny, if you tried this, I can give you some ideas how to use it. Is it? It cannot be the. I've seen that people are now using it for, yeah, so the Gemini 2 basically. Real-time voice. Okay, so this just came few days ago. That's why I don't have a material yet on it, but I will show you some other generative material today. So this is the Gemini 2, which you can definitely test out. And the idea is that you can record your screen or video feed. You can just choose your screen, right? And then it will be able to understand what the model sees, and you can ask things about the visual screen which the model sees. Basically, if you look at maps, you can ask where is the really cold, right? It will describe where should you place the marker in the map. But the great examples which I have seen so far, maybe this doesn't give you justice of how cool it is, but basically, uh, you can screencast, for example, some software you didn't know how to use, like the this AI Studio or Photoshop or something like that, right? And you ask the Gemini to explain how to, in the Photoshop you can remove the background, for example. So just a second, I have noise. I have situation at home. So the yeah, so you'd ask in Photoshop how to remove background, right? And the model will understand what you see on the screen and will explain. You press on the button on the left, do that, do that, do that, and basically you have an online like teacher, like where you just share your screen. But the beginnings of this is these image captioning models, and these are still much more stable. So as I always, I'm showing you all of the things. I start from the most stable things and then I go to least stable, because Gemini is definitely not something you would like to use in production. So basically, you would like to probably use in production something which is stable like Clip model. So I will look if I can show you some demos. I think there are some clip demos which I can show you on the Hugging Face as well. Yeah, let me see. So and these methods, by the way, are used in many products already nowadays. So let's see. So this is then the clip. I will share you this also in the chat. Is the demo where you see how the image captioning works in reality, and you can use this for commercial applications for real products, basically. So, and this has been used in, for example, Google Photos and other places, right? Where you want to, when you look at finding, for example, picture of a dog, right? Then it will find the picture based on these kind of models. Okay, you need. So this is weird. Zero shot usually don't require any labels. Possible class names, right? It's maybe it's one. So let's see, dog. We'll see if that helps. Okay, so this is not actually the clip type of model. So this is also image captioning, but it will try to match it with predefined so it'll yeah, so basically if I dog cat like this, it will find that dog is the most likely label, see? So you can use it in that way. But the original clip actually produces the outputs like arbitrary outputs as well. It's not all image captioning always not always works like this. It can work in other ways as well. And you can even turn image captioning on other side. So the how you can turn it is you can, for example, use it for image search. And there's already a lot of tools that you can use. So this I can share you also this one. You can even build these functions inside your own applications, basically. Like it's not only something that is built in Google Photos and so on, so you can use it in your own application. So for example, here's Upsplash. If you didn't know, the Upsplash is popular website where you can get professional photos nowadays. As far as I know, they sold a lot of copyrights to these AI companies, and now you can generate all of these pictures, as you will see in a second. So let's see clouds, and so let's say uh, I don't know, like dog sitting in room. I don't know. We'll see if I can get that one. Should be something like that in Upsplash. Right. So see, it used the same embedding, same z vector to find pre-indexed. So previously, all of these pictures have been processed by the same manner, extracted these embeddings the same manner like this, and then when I compare with my text, I can find the right image. So this is the image captioning in nutshell. So then next one, the style conversion, and basically I can take GANs together. Oh, segment anything. It's already was there. Okay, that's something we did already. So the GANs, style conversion, the emotion transfer, the mm, super resolution, all of these things are done by similar models, very similar models. Let me show you that. So GANs, generative adversarial models, generative adversarial networks, and you can use them for many things like and I will show you a couple of nice examples in a second, and then towards the end I will show you the latest Gen AI tools which you can play around. But again, they are not as stable for commercial use, except if you want to use them basically for creative tasks, right, where you don't need to be very precise. So these can be used for style conversion, for the uh, super resolution, novel data produce, like you can produce new data sets. Basically, you can synthetically generate more data sets. Basically, so and how they work and the idea behind it, and it's actually still to this day the generative models, GANs particularly, are still very powerful. Many of the generative AI models that are nowadays used for, well, let's say DALLE or for all sorts of other ways, they are not actually anymore based on not anymore based on GANs. They are based on diffusion models, but these are still very cool. Let me try to find some nice picture to share with you. I believe I have those somewhere. I usually like teach these models to be built in like for like in mathematical courses, but I can show you here also some nice examples. So you have um, uh, basically two models that are fighting between each other. I'm just thinking, do I have some visually better example? Mm, okay, maybe this one is visually nicer than what I usually show to my mathematical friends, mathematics people. So this would be definitely better one. So the idea is that you have the specific type of model and training procedure, which is not really something that is very common. So normally, in when you train your models, you want your loss to go down, right? That basically, uh, like the loss plots. Remember, I told you about these charts where you determine the error rate, right? So I want to show you one more thing. So normally when you want to define your error rate for classification models, you want the loss to go down. And there was the overfitting and other things. But for generative models, this is very, very interesting. For generative models, you actually don't want the loss to go always down. So depending on the like Wasserstein loss goes down, but others don't. So here the idea is that if you look at so what we have here, we want to generate some letters, okay? And we want to generate these letters from nothing basically. So everything starts with random noise. So this is just like a random line of numbers, basically vector, right? So, and we train it. So these are the epochs. So this is how long we train. And this is the error rate, the loss. And what happens, interestingly, is that if you look here, the generative loss goes down. Like this is what you actually want to see in all of your classification models. If you see something like this in classification models, then this is bad. Basically, it means that your model is not learning, it is becoming worse, it is becoming not good, right? But in generative tasks, you actually want these two models, the basically the discriminator model and generator model, to fight between each other. If they don't fight between each other, if both lines go down, you will get not nice pictures. They will not look real. So, and how this works, you have your own data set of pictures. It always comes down to data. Just a second, I need to ask one thing. So we have the image data here. We have the random sampling, and we have real face. Okay, real face, and then we have generated face. The generative face is coming from this part, and usually in all of the deep learning literature, you see these triangles, as I showed you before. This triangle means that I'm converting from Z space into 2D images. Okay, so and it's generating the image. In very beginning, these images do not look like that at all. They look terrible. And then you have discriminator here, and this discriminator have actually usually just one output. There is just one number coming out, and this number represents if this is a real or fake image. And then you train these two models in parallel at once. One model is trying to distinguish if these images are coming from the dataset or they are generated, right? And the other model is trying to push the loss through here and trying to make sure that this model is trained properly. And there is actually no clear connection between this model and this dataset. It just goes through the discriminator, which is very powerful. Basically, this image, the whole loss then goes like this image goes here and then goes back here, like that. And basically, what means random noise? It means anything. Basically, you can generate from thin blue air cool stuff. Basically, let me show you. So if you open a website called This Person Does Not Exist, so you can get for free models for your advertisements. Because if I refresh the page, any of these people do not exist in reality. These are all generated people, basically. And you can like generate as many as you want and then choose something that you want to use in your advertisements, for example. So that's one option how to work, right? So maybe we can even use some of these pictures for task downstream. So let's use this one, save downloads. Okay. There is also other tools where you can basically also change the facial expressions and other things. And how those things work, let me show more about that. These are still the GAN models, basically. Often they are still GAN models, and they have more complex cycles, basically. And here, for these models, I just want to give you one interesting notice that you should remember, is that, for example, here we have a model that is able to, so what you need to look here is that there's a model that is able to convert pictures of horses into pictures of zebras by not changing the position, not changing anything, just changing the colors. It can also be used the same way to change emotions. Basically, you can have like the basically there is a uh, like person who is sad, and then the person becomes happy. Or you can also use the same model, and this is often used for models where you want to like change faces, like deep fakes, right? So all of these models are based on the cycle GAN type of process, and there is one huge trick there, which I wanna emphasize before we move on to the last most fun part, generating lots of stuff using the generative models, right? So basically, again, so we have the input, we have the output, and we keep the like the semantic meaning, just change some textures. And the trick here is that I never ever have actually the pairs. So I don't have the so this is actually the sorry, I messed up a little bit. So this is my source image. So, and this is my source image as well. So I want to take basically, let me describe it. When I will add here the labels, you will understand what I mean. I have the style. So let's say my style is the I mean the zebra style here. Okay, so this is zebra style. Let me put the color. Oh man, so this interface is so style, and we have the target. No, something is off here, right? Just a second. So this is the style, sorry, and this is my target. Okay, I'm a little bit sick, sorry for that, but I know what I'm talking about. So, and this is the output. And the other side is actually a reconstructed image, but we don't care about that too much actually. And these models are actually cycle GANs and bicycle GANs and all sorts of those guys, right? So, and what's happening here, and the main thing why I'm showing this is there is a point why what I'm going to make here is that you don't have pairs actually. You see that the style is a horse like that, the target is like that, and the output is like that, and this image on the left, on the right side, it actually does not exist basically. So this is not a real image. So we can just cross it out. So that is not a real data set. Only these 2 points are real data sets, and this is also generated. Maybe we can just color it. The generated images are green. So this is generated and this is generated. So, and the idea is that where I'm trying to make a point is that you often do not need to have pairs. So I don't need to have exactly the same position of horse standing in that position so that the model learns how to convert the data set. But we can make, if I don't have just a huge data set of horses, huge data set of zebras, I can make a model that change horses to zebras, which is really powerful, that if you understand what I'm saying. You can do also the same thing with the facial like the facial these reconstructions, like, and you can, in this case, either it can be the deep fake, or it can be also the, you know, the facial expressions, like here it changes the way how the basically the face looks. So this is the so yeah, so here is the, in the bottom part is the final model basically. So here let me see, so this is the input facial expression, and this is the output facial expression of the model. So it is able to transfer it, even though I never ever had datasets with Trump and Obama having the same exact facial expressions. Also, it works for something like this, where we have segmented images, or like infrared images, or all sorts of sensor images, and I have just the one and the other, but I don't have pairs, but I able to train pairs, which is super powerful. Hopefully that makes sense at least so far. And then finally, we have the last type of models, which are these usually based on diffusion models. And these are the generative models, which are then linked together, because I explained you about CLIP, which is super important. And we previously we talked about language models, which is also super important. If you combine CLIP language models and generative models, you get all of these guys. You get like almost everything, like text to image, image to video, like text to video, the text to 3D and so on. There's like lots of possibilities you can do as soon as you have all of those models ready. And today we actually do have all of those models ready, and that's why we can build all of these things. So let me give a few words about how it works under the hood, and then let's play around with these things. So in my mathematical courses, I actually train people how to do this, and this works by basically uh, well, so first of all, you kind of uh, mm, add noise to your data set. Basically, you have let me show you one example from my courses. So this is the this is the training data of the avocado image, and then this is the output of the avocado image. And how it works for the and these are diffusion models. Basically, they are called diffusion models. They are called diffusion models, and if you work with, for example, the Midjourney, which is one of the tools I want to show you, then these tools actually uh, the diffusion models, they work like that. You see that they slowly becomes from the noise something out of it. So the you intentionally step one, you intentionally damage your data set. So this is step one. You make sure that your data set basically is becomes from nice pictures totally noisy, and then you train your model to restore your image from the noise. And your model actually looks quite similar to the previous examples which I gave you with these like uh, like segmentation models and so on. But the idea is that you train the model to predict each step here. So like if I start from this noise, and normally actually what happens is you have this noise plus the text embeddings. Let's So this is a little bit annoying how not convenient this software is actually. So okay, so there will be plus text embedding, and text embedding input would be avocado, for example. Okay, so that's how normally they've been trained. So God, all right. And these text embeddings, by the way, are usually much smaller than for the language models, because it is very difficult to tie together long text descriptions with the proper images. So and then you train model to recognize, to like predict each step here. And the same model is used to clean your output like as many times as necessary, and you can stop when you think that your output is cleaned enough, basically. So that is the way how all of these models usually work. And there's a cool ways what you can do. You can like start immediately from this image, for example, from this image. You can also cover some parts up, like do the masks and inpainting, basically. So and that also works really nicely. So I actually have I think one a nice image of how this actually works in real life. So just a second, need to copy the URL of GIF. So this is another example. Okay, I copied that person. Oh, not diffusion model. I want to copy this. Okay, cool. So yeah, so here is the GIF where somebody added the mask and then denoised the image, but it only denoised the image. It only makes the noise on that part where the mask is actually. So it's not like it is adding the mask like repainting everything. Only that selected area, even though it looks like it's repainting anything, only that area. And you see that every time you run the model, you will get completely different result, because maybe you can add also these text embeddings descriptions that the person is smiling, right, and so on, and this will make the effect. But this is the way how it works basically. And to train these models, you usually have need huge amount of data. Usually they are trained on lion dataset, which is, I think there was like tens of millions, yeah, not even hundreds of millions of image samples. So, and finally, let me give you some examples where you can play around yourself and you will know the tools yourself as well. Okay. So for the Gen AI type of things, and some of the basically the best tools which I can recommend myself, just just for the image processing, would be these ones. So let's add, and then we will also can talk about a little bit, if you have time, about video. So Gen AI photo images. I'll give you some examples how I use them, and maybe you can write in the chat if you have used some other examples. So, oh, right. Let me see, can I make it so it's a little bit mess here. So let me give some order. So there is, if you want to do something for free, which almost any, like there's nothing for free. Like if you want to do any of these models for free, forget about it. Like you will never get anything good for free with this, because this is very expensive to run actually. So the only free model which I know which is kind of useful is this Copilot, Microsoft Bing type of tool. I will show you that as well. All other models are for paid. So Grok 3, the XCOM or Twitter, they released this model. Then there's GPT-4 something. Basically, 4.0 actually does not have the multimodal generative capabilities, but it's used the DALLE model in the background, at least as far as I know. Then the Mid Journey, which is kind of professional tool, also very useful. Then the Runway, ClipDrop, and if you want to go fully professional, then Adobe Generative AI. But regarding the Adobe, the trick is that with Adobe is that basically it is trained on copyrighted data. So this is the most honest tool of all of these. But it's also like I have not checked, but it's most expensive probably, and also you need a little bit of knowledge how to use Photoshop and so on. So let me give you some examples. I will later give you homework where you can play around with these things as well. So to construct the prompts properly in the generative models, then we can take some templates as an examples. So normally these prompts are created in this way. So this is from the Mid Journey. You might have some reference images to which you want to base your output. Then you have a text prompt, and then you have some specific parameters. So you don't write these prompts out of the blue. You actually try to build them like with structure, and you have very limited amount of words you can use. Normally, as last I looked at these large image datasets, yeah, I would guess like 200 words are already much. So basically, if you start adding more words, they are secretly, what they are doing in the background, they are reducing your prompts to smaller prompts. They are using some language model to generate shorter prompts, basically. So I would not recommend generating images with more than 200 words in the text prompts, basically. So what you want to do, you want to define this in this order. You want to have like the so where what you have the type. So this will be the a photo, super realistic photo, so on. Line drawing, for example. Then you want to have the what is the subject, the main person in the image. So there is a person, animal, some cartoon character, and so on. Then the background, add as many details as you want. Actually, the more details, the better, but not longer than around 200 words. Even at 10 words, it already becomes not as good. But then there is ways how to improve afterwards. If you generate something from 10 words, you can use these infilling tools to improve your image so that at the end you get something useful. So, and then the style is this is like a photography or other styles, right? And then there's like examples here, like oil painting, portrait of woman, flowers, bright colors, impressionist. Probably even better would be if you write like exact age of the woman, like 30 years old woman, looking at camera and so on. So how to do this then, and how give you some practical examples. Let me see what is open right now. Maybe I accidentally closed something. So let's start by this free version. Yeah, so I actually tried to generate something already. Remember, always start everything in the new session. Okay, so let's try to generate something. So these language models are something is the one thing which is annoying. I need always to write generate image because I need to somehow tell that what I'm gonna do now is not text task, it is image task. There is a lot of tools that don't require you to do this, but some of these require, so I will show you some examples. So let's write. So there will be let's try to generate the coloring book. So this is also something I have done with my kids actually. So which is really nice. Let's try to give you some example, and then I will give you some example of more in terms of advertisement, right, or some professional pictures. So coloring page in black and white. Uh, then there will be the subject will be Donald Duck cleaning cleaning coins in vault. And So let's see to color in black and white. Actually, the first tokens are most important. Let me move it back to the end. Like I told you last time also that the first tokens are most important. Line drawing. I can add more details like uh, in the vault sitting on on top of of pile of coins, and I could add that somebody is watching in the background or whatever. Or Lego, maybe I can do everything about Lego previously I generated. So, okay, so funny. The glitch. So let's try again. Uh, but I don't expect actually this to work very well. So yeah, so it says that copyrighted characters. So this is already a problem. So these free tools are very restrictive. They don't want to allow you to generate nice things. So let's say doc, just without Donald Duck. Okay, now it's generating. And the background is generating in the way like explained actually. Okay, so this is this not very nice. So if I give this to my kids for coloring book, I don't think they would appreciate. Let's try some other tools. So the other tools what you have, so Midjourney. Midjourney is one of the oldest ones and most powerful tools. You can use it in Discord, or nowadays you can actually use it directly here in like in web browser. So if I write it, generate here, I will while it's generating, I will show you also you can I forgot. I should not add generate image in the Midjourney, and in Midjourney actually it could do a good job in most cases. Let's try again because the generate image part is not necessary. So in the vault, sitting on top of all coins, let's change it. So vault door in background. Vault means safes. So like that. And here, generate image. So this is the X platform, and they have actually something that you can use for free. This is actually also very cool. So uh, you cannot use the Grok for free or the X platform, which is for paid actually, but you can this platform is using something that is called Flux model. So let me add reference here. The reference here. The Flux model is open source, and it is very powerful and very capable. Basically, Flux. So this is used by Grok basically, and something that you can use open source. Open. By the way, this is not only open source model. There is also SDXL or the stable diffusion models. Those are also open source. So there's many image generation models that you can use for free in your own projects. So here, this Flux is also not too bad. Basically, if you look at these images, right, maybe it is kind of okay. Here, these ones I like even much better, right? Like something that is really like looking something like a coloring book, right? And finally, ChatGPT, you can also do this. And the ChatGPT, I don't expect to get super great results because, first of all, it also tries to avoid the copyrights, right? And will not generate anything copyrighted. But then also it has this weird style because, as far as I know from the public information, the DALLE GPT model, which is running behind here, adds to the prompt the styling features, like to make sure that. So this is not too bad, but this doesn't look like Donald Duck, right? So the it adds the styling features so that when you see the ChatGPT generated images, you kind of feel that this is generated by ChatGPT. So that is one kind of problem. But the Mid Journey is kind of cool actually, and the other tools also. So Mid Journey, the Grok, and some others. I want to show you more. So which one looks the best? I don't know. So if this would be a Donald Duck, maybe that would look the best, but this is not Donald Duck. So let's use this one just for reference. So you can generate it in one thing and then edit another thing. So let me show you about the editing now. So I can use these pre-processed images or images I just created and modify them. Oh no, unfortunately I need to add here some extension. Yep, so there is the image. So here in the Mid Journey, what I can do a lot of things. So I can immediately retexture it, so I can make it, let's say, black and white without large dark areas. Yes, we'll see. So just the full picture, right? I'm not sure that this will be the best because this is usually used to change style of picture, so you can make it in completely other style, very usually artistic style. So it seems that it's already generating quite artistic stuff, basically. Just a second. Mm. Yeah, so the outputs are not good, but let's try to control this a little bit better. So let's return to this one. By the way, I'm pressed suggest prompt because I will show you just in a second two tools. Maybe we can go back to these tools again. Let me open the other one. So other one, a very popular tool is RunwayML. I'm just showing these tools which you can use for 10 euro a month and start using immediately, where you don't need to learn such a lot of stuff, right? So let me also use this one to show you some image tool. You can generate from text images also here, but there is better thing. So let's see. So erase and replace, upload image. And here you also can work with it. So let's compare. So here it depends definitely when you use all of these tools. Don't think that some tool is bad just because you don't know how to use it. So the Midjourney requires that you write the whole description of the picture, okay? And then you select areas which you want to change, and those areas will be changed, but this will be based on the whole picture. So if I want, for example, here to be a large pile of coins, okay, maybe if we just replace the table by large pile of coins. So this one is standing in front of uh, let's say a large pile of coins while cleaning it, maybe polishing them, polishing one coin, single coin, one coin, right? So I changed so what I'm trying to show you, I don't write what I want in this area, I'm just writing the whole picture, right? And then if I'm submitting edits, it will generate what I ask. If I will write what I want in that particular area to generate, then the output will be completely wrong. So if I just delete all of my prompt and say generate the pile of coins, right? It will be completely wrong output. So I get something like this, and I can look different ways. So I don't see that the Donald Duck is cleaning the coins, but you get the point, right? So this is how you can easily fix any photos, images, and so on. But keep in mind that in Midjourney you need to write the whole long prompt. So other tools like this one in the RunwayML, and you can try RunwayML for free for some period actually. Let me see, did mess up. So here, sorry, here you actually don't need to write the whole prompt for the whole image. So depending on tool which you use, that's why you need to be learn about the tools you use, right? And it's not always self-explanatory. So in this one, you can actually just write what you want to change. So mm, pile of coins in cartoon style. Not we don't need to have these in cartoon style. And then coloring book basically. Let me see if that maybe I added too much. If it will not be good, then we will just leave pile of coins. So and you can imagine that you can use these tools to change outfits of your photos, right? Like if you have, for example, the like photo shoot, right, for some products or something, you can change the outfits and so on. So you can see you can get all sorts of variations. Maybe some are better, some are worse. You can play around it more, right? If my hand here is not nice now, see the hand is broken, so you can just ask to. So here would be the hand of uh, Donald Duck. Yeah, I hope this will fix that. And yeah, you can basically what I'm trying to say is that you don't need to be able to generate your image perfectly the first time. You can then work on it to try to fix it later basically. So maybe the hand is not perfect, but you can keep working on it until it's great. So that's that. Let me give you more examples. So if you go to ChatGPT, there is also image captioning ability. So what I mean by image captioning ability is that, oh, also by the way, this free Copilot Microsoft have image captioning ability. If you don't have paid version for Copilot for the for paid version for this, you can try the other one as well. So let me give you one example. So let me see. So save. I want to save this image. So if I see some advertisement, for example, that I like, right? Mm, that some image style that I like, right? And I would like to, let's say, uh, recreate in that particular manner my own content. Okay, so what I can do, I can take, for example, here the picture of Air Baltic airplane. Okay, let's see, can I load it? So this is the Air Baltic. By the way, there's something strange here, but anyway, so Air Baltic advertisement uh, with these clouds in background and so on, right? So, and then if I would write something like, um, so let me see, um, extract, extract. So if I use some kind of prompt, so let's see, some prompt sourcing it would called. So so extract information of image details as categorized lists. So we can actually include what kind of include categories. So let's use the same categories as I showed you before. So here, these ones, right? Just a second. So, so categories, let me find those. So let me show you a couple of these examples and then we'll wrap up, right? But hopefully these will be useful for your daily life as well, so you know what's possible to do. Maybe for this one, I can go step further. So uh, the categories. Where were my categories? Where were my categories? So there will be the okay. So image type, subject, subject, features, features, uh, background, style. Okay. What else? What else? Okay, something like that. Right. So this shouldn't not be perfect, but at least you will get the point. So what I can do, I can literally extract the description of all of this, and you see it. The text quite well, minor details also, like for example the markings on the image even, right? And then I could construct from this the prompt basically. So we can ask the next step. Write description description of picture using as little as possible of, words separated by commas. Okay, let's see if I can get that. And then what I can do, or maybe it's too little words, right? But maybe what I can do then is I can reconstruct the image and change features of it, right? So write description of picture using let's say keywords, maybe using keywords, not keywords, separated columns. Let's try this one just like that. Maybe it will be too long. We'll see. No, it's actually not too bad. So this prompt worked quite well actually. Remember, the first token is the most important ones. So okay, great. And now what I can do, I can just generate the image back. So generate image of let's say, so d. I'm not sure if this will be correct. So because I don't see that there is a photo, maybe I should add photo HDR. I don't know. So so now it will generate that picture. I can try also in the grok. The grok, as I know, actually works quite well with photorealistic things, the flux model. I can do also here in the Midjourney, create, and let's here, but I don't need to add generate image here. Just will do this, plain right. And finally, where else? I could actually go and try here in the runway as well. Text to image. So let's drop it in. And here in the runway, I can, by the way, train my own model as well. I can add style to my model. I can do the same also in the Midjourney. If you are an artist, you can make your own style images. You can add also product placement. That's something I want to also show you before we end today about the product placement as well. There's many things which so basically you see, not too bad actually. So if you compare with the original image, right? It's pretty close actually. So, and what we can do is if we want, we can change this to different brand. Basically we can do all sorts of things. So this is actually even closer than that. See, like almost the same image, maybe this different direction, right? And the and the ChatGPT gives this. So ChatGPT is never so the ChatGPT image generator DALLE is not the best in the market, by the way, if you didn't know that. So that's why you definitely want to use something like this, basically. So what we can do, and by the way, the one important thing is that text is difficult. Text is not always working great on these models. So later models like this one in Midjourney actually is able to do something, but the text is always a challenge actually. So and this is the runway is better not for generation but for editing. For runway is great for editing and also for videos. So I will show you that in a second. Okay, so let's keep digging here. So if I have something like this, right? So Air Baltic, right? And we can maybe reuse it. So let's see. So how to change it? So there will be registration, aircraft, two engines, partial landing gear. So let's see if there is a green. So let's try and change it to orange. Orange. So orange. There something else? Oh, bright green. So Baltic branding. So let's say EasyJet. Easy easy jet. Okay. Branding. Orange. Orange plane. Uh, so what else? Two orange engines. Dotted landing gear. Finte with EasyJet sign. Light blue sky, natural sharp edges, right and captured angles. So hopefully I removed everything that is related to making we can remove also some details which just makes it too long. So now if I run it again, I should be able to generate actually the same sourced image for the completely different brand basically. So here generate image of this, and let's compare. So the ChatGPT, the worst, right? And but the other tools are actually really great. So the Grok is quite great. I think, oh yeah, so Grok too. So and also the Midjourney is great, of course. So see, and if I don't like something, right? Because there is of course artifacts, right? It's not always great the first try, right? I can just generate it again, or I can actually use here as a tools where I can just ask to vary, like use this image as a source and create me some alternative options. Or here, these ones are actually also quite nice looking, right? So maybe if I see that there is a not great text here, right? What I would do, I would use these editing tools to fix that text, right? And the variations are also great. So that's the one way how to operate. Finally, finally, okay, let's before jumping to the final phase, maybe let me show you some more examples of what you can do. So if I if I would download this image and I can actually make it upscale and so on, I can animate things. So it can be humans, it can be like objects and so on. I can go to these RunwayML and there is a video tools and I will add, because we're running out of time, I will add the information about video tools in the slides where you can find other video tools like Kling AI and others, which are really great. But basically here in this RunwayML, you can make short videos of this basically, second. Man vēl bišķi vajag kaut kāds 5 minūtes. So, and here it even gives you the examples how you can animate videos, so images. So you generate images. Remember, there's also tools where you can swap faces easily. I will add you that as well, so you can either use your own video, like you can make fully artificial stuff basically. So here's this GenAI alpha, right? And let's take some examples. So what we can do here, to usually don't make it too crazy. Basically, if you make it make too much of these descriptions, this will just make this animation be too far away from original image. So first person shot of airplane, right? Hyper speed, 5 blur, time lapse, 3D speed. In the style of cinematic, cinematic, photorealistic, whatever. So motion blur I don't want actually, dynamic motion. So just to make it alive, right? If you push it too much, you can ask to generate that the plane is crashing and so on, but it will, from my experience, you will just not get great results. And yeah, so so it's generating here. So while it's generating here, let me actually show you, maybe show you one couple of things which I don't have too much time. So okay, so here with the ChatGPT image captioning, some very useful stuff. So one very useful stuff is you can actually also use it for like the OCR, basically for optical character recognition. Okay, so let me see. So if I save it here, okay, so let me just a second. So let me drop something. So here's one receipt, right? So this is just my picture of receipt, right? So I can get out. So let's see. So extract as so as table, basically apply table, and then so the let's see. So the items bought, price total, etc. So if I have something like that, it should be able to, um, so yeah, it extracted stuff out of there like this, right? So, but the code part here is not important. Actually, it was doing the image captioning and was able to detect information. It can do also handwriting. It can do all sorts of crazy things. Like for example, you can even extract from the uh, baked graphs, like plots. For example, there are some cases where when, okay, my computer is freezing. So some cases where you have plots, for example, right? Like what I mean by plots is something like this. So you have a graph with lines, right? And I want to extract this information from them. For extract information from uh, line chart plot. Output should be so the x and xy values for red, blue line as a table, whatever. So this is not exactly the best prompt, but you get the idea. Basically, you can reverse engineer images even in this way. So let's see if we can get the output. I have seen some fun examples where people are giving the these the what I mean the contents of your fridge and then detecting encouraging to get these what I call the recipes and what you can build from your fridge contents and so on. Lots of things you can do. So here it actually extracted the outputs. Okay, the year array was broken, but it will try to fix. But this is the way how you can do it actually. So hopefully it will work. Okay, so yeah, so it will try to work. Yeah. So let's see that. While it's doing that, let's go here. Oh man, it will take so much time. Oh no, it is working. Okay, cool. Let's look. So see, all right. So the it is animating, and you see the clouds are really cool and so on, but the plane is not going in the right direction. So what you want to do is to add information of that. So first airplane flying, flying. So to top left corner. Okay, so so I will generate again. So that's that. And here this is the output basically. So cool stuff basically. So this is something to keep in mind, that these tools are really powerful. You don't need to write by hand things. You can use these tools to automate image generation. You can automate image creation, and you can do with super high quality the classification, segmentation, and all of those things. So um, the I think we are out of time. I didn't have time to show the image face swapping features. For face swapping, let me just give you, this is actually for free. You can try that as well. So, oh, I just need to do one more thing. Sorry. There are two tools I want to show you towards the end. So the one tool here is the face swap tool. So this is used in combination with Discord as well, with the Midjourney often, but you can use it for free for some time, and this works really well. If you put the source image, your target image, you can swap the face for your image. I will give you this in the chat. So this is one of the good tools for doing that, like for the modeling and so on, right? And the final tool which I want to show you is the this one. So for if you're selling the products, so you can upload your image. Like in this case, if I'm selling the chair, right? I can upload any image I want, right? Then the first step would be, if I upload my own image, I would remove the background. So I would use this remove background if this is my own image. But I have already done this, right? So this would be that. Then I will generate the background. So, and here it will actually give me a lot of examples which I want to do. So I can use this one, bright living room, cozy minimal, Scandic in like, I can just write IKEA interior, so, and then window with snow outside, right? And nowadays, for your own web stores, right? You should not pay a lot of money for people to generate to make pictures for your products. You can just if you have any qualitative picture of your product, you can use these tools to basically place them in different environments. So you can choose all sorts of environments, and if something that you've generated here doesn't like you, right, you don't like something here, then just use the other tools I showed you. You can fix every single detail of the things that you didn't like, right? So that's something to do. And here let's look at, did we get something nice running here? We'll see. So the plane, okay, it's a little bit better, but it's definitely not the best. So the plane is still not going in the right direction, but as you see it now, it's much more realistic, right? So if I keep working on this prompt, I will be able to get so that plane is like the camera and the plane is going in separate directions and so on. So and you can make this with all sorts of things. So basically, yeah. So that's it for today. Please leave a like, write some comment or whatever, and remember that this is not just like fun things. There is actually a lot of science behind it and a lot of ways how you should be doing this. So you should not do the classification using the ChatGPT. You should use the proper models if you want to use it in a production environment. If you use the ChatGPT for image classification, as I showed you in the very beginning, you will have very bad results. But if you use the proper tools, you will have really great results. So hope you get inspired by this. And next time, if I'm not be too sick, and if you have yet time in December, we will look probably at audio tools maybe, and maybe I will combine audio tools with some robotics and some other practical aspects of AI that you could use. Okay, so that's it for today.